So what we're doing today is a real brief overview of the Twitter interface, both on a computer and on a mobile device, and then we'll leave some time for questions if anyone has something specific they wanted to learn or some specific questions about how they might use this platform for a takeover. All right, so for those who are logged in and ready to go, you should be looking at my screen right now, and what you're seeing is the Twitter homepage. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in to SBM's account. And this is the welcome screen that you will see when you log in. There are some specific things on the screen I'm going to go over, but first I wanted to start by just mentioning a few Twitter terms that you have probably heard, but this way we'll make sure that we're all on the same page. So a tweet is essentially just a post. A follower would be a person who essentially signs up to see all of your posts. A good way to think of that is sort of like friending someone on Facebook. Following is much the same. A hashtag is, for all intents and purposes, a keyword. It's denoted by the pound sign. So for instance, here we have hashtag opioids. Hashtags are searchable and clickable, which is what is really great about them. You may have also heard mention of a Twitter handle. That's just a username. So for instance, SBM's Twitter handle is @behavioralmed. The @ sign is how you denote that something is a username. And again, if it's in a tweet, here's one here with the FDA, it's searchable and clickable as well. A retweet is just what it sounds like. It's sharing a tweet that someone else has posted. And another common term would be if something is trending, which essentially just means it's popular. So often hashtags will be trending. It means that they're being mentioned in a lot of tweets at the same time, and there's a big conversation going on about that particular item. So turning back to our welcome screen, I'm going to put some of these terms into context for you. The main thing on our welcome screen is this central feed, which shows every tweet from every person that SBM follows. It goes on forever. You could scroll and scroll. There are lots of tweets. In the time we've been talking, 9 new tweets have been posted. Clicking that pops all of those up for me. So this is essentially the main component of your home screen here. Over here in our left-hand corner, we see all of our account information. So it's got our profile image, our Twitter handle. We could click this link to see all of the tweets from SBM's account, to see all of the people we're following, all those who follow us. We'll get into that in a little more detail a bit later. The other key feature here is this central box, which is where you would actually post a tweet. So you can see down here, we're limited to 140 characters. You can also add images, you can add short GIF videos, a poll, you can add your location. For the purposes of an example, we're just going to go ahead and do a tweet here. As you can see, we've loaded this thing up with hashtags. We've also mentioned @Obesity Care Week, which is a particular user. This is an event going on this week. SBM is one of the partners, so we've been sharing some of their promotional materials and encouraging physicians and others to take action with their patients in terms of preventing and treating obesity. We can also add an image to this one. If my screen will load. Okay, so that's just going to pop the image up at the bottom for me. Clicking tweet will instantly share this with all of our 3,000 followers. And there you go. Aside from just tweeting, as I mentioned, there are retweets. So, for instance, let's see, what would be something good? Sherry Pagato, one of our SBM members, has been tweeting often from APHA, which is this week. So if I wanted to retweet this tweet from Sherry right here, this icon at the bottom of each tweet is to retweet, and all I would have to do is click it. It's going to pop up a box, and I could add a comment if I wanted to. I'm not going to on this particular one, but often we'll add comments and say, such an important topic, thanks for starting the discussion, things like that, just to kind of add your own context to it. Comment or not, when you're ready, you would hit retweet, and that goes out to all of our followers. You can also choose this heart here, which would like the tweet, and then on SBM's profile, you would see a list of all the tweets that we have liked. So those are your main options here from this page. Also, I wanted to mention to follow or unfollow people, you would just hover over their name, which is a link, and pops up some of their profile information. This is someone we already follow, but if maybe I was tired of his tweets and didn't want to follow him anymore, clicking this button would take him off of my list and I would no longer follow him. If I'm not following someone, clicking that same area here, now we're following them. Other things I wanted to point out are this notifications tab, one of the tabs you have at the top of your screen. Will take you to a list of all the interactions that SBM's account has had with others on Twitter. So anytime someone mentions our Twitter handle in a tweet, anytime we're retweeted, someone likes a tweet, new follows, you name it, it all appears here. In particular for takeovers, this is a really nice tab because people who are tweeting about the same thing as you are often going to be interacting with you, and this is a good way to see a list of that so that you can interact with them as well. If they mention you in a tweet, you might want to retweet them, you might want to favorite it, or follow them since they're clearly involved in the same sort of subject matter. I also wanted to point out our profile page, which we can access again from pretty much any link over here on the home page. This icon here will also take you there when you click on View Profile. And so here we have SBM's account profile with our fancy annual meeting banner and our profile image. We have a brief profile description over here, and then this will show you every tweet that SBM has ever tweeted. Again, you could scroll forever. You can see here the ones that we just did, our Obesity Care Week tweet and also our retweet of Sherry already are showing up here. You could click on some of these different tabs to view other portions of our profile. If you wanted to look at the people we're following, you can click here. It's going to bring up little snapshots of each of their profiles. Same thing for those who are following us. And the likes that we talked about appear under this final tab. So anything that we have liked, here's some poster sessions from APHA, some other things like that, all appear here. Another key piece of your home screen, really any part of Twitter, is this search bar, particularly for takeovers. This is going to be one of your best friends. So as I mentioned at the beginning, when we're talking about hashtags and Twitter handles, they're searchable. So that is a way to sort of, you notice your home feed, we're following thousands of people. There are lots of tweets that come in there. A good way to kind of cut down on that and find the content you really want is by searching for a particular hashtag or a particular user. So as an example again, if we were to use APHA's hashtag from their meeting that's going on right now and search for that, we're going to see all kinds of relevant tweets pop up. So it's going to automatically sort these by popularity. So it's going to show you the top tweets, the ones that are getting some of the most traction. You can also click on latest right here, and that will show them to you in real time. So it'll be the most recent ones appearing first. So for instance, with the takeover that the physical activity SIG just did, there was a hashtag associated with that, hashtag PA guidelines, and so a great way to find other people who are using that hashtag, who are at the same event, tweeting about the same thing, is to search the hashtag. You can also search for people. So for instance, if we wanted to find SBM President Jim Salas on Twitter, maybe people are talking about him. By searching just his name, we've got the SBM President account pops up. Here's some former tweets about Jim leading meetings, some images of him. So searching for people is another good tool as well. I wanted to also just mention a few rules of thumb that I think are really important for using Twitter, aside from just understanding the interface, but when it comes to drafting tweets. Tweets live forever. Even if they get taken down, someone will have a screenshot of it. We have all heard various horror stories of tweets gone viral or someone who was fired because of an ill-timed tweet. So it's good to think, before I tweet this, is this something I would want my child to see, or my grandmother, or the SBM president, or my boss. Something to keep in mind just about appropriateness of tweets. And also, anytime you tweet, it's really important to be using hashtags and mentioning other accounts, using images, using links. All of those things make your tweet much more likely to be seen, which is really the whole point, is to get your message out there. So the more things you put in there that make it searchable, that make it appear in a big way on people's feeds, the more interaction you're going to have from that tweet. Speaking of hashtags, real quick, I wanted to mention there are a couple websites that are really awesome for finding good hashtags that are healthcare specific. These links are in the takeover documents that we provide to SIGs before they take over so that they're easily accessible. But this one here, you can search any healthcare keyword. We'll use cancer as an example, and it'll pull up all the relevant tweets. It's going to sort them into categories for me, the relevant hashtags. So I know if this is a regular tweet, this one is affiliated with a particular conference, disease hashtags. So this is a good place if you know what you want to tweet about, but you're not sure what kind of hashtags people are using to have that conversation. Right tag is another one that I really enjoy. You don't have to bother with logging in or anything. You can just search your hashtag right up here in the top. And it'll bring up a similar list, but it's going to put them in colors for you. And so the green ones are the ones that are good to use. It essentially means that enough people are using it that it's useful, but not so many people are using it that it kind of loses its value because you're just going to have a million search results. So these are really helpful. I also wanted to quickly show what Twitter looks like on the mobile platform, which is really similar. So we'll switch over here. I'll just switch my screen. Okay, so I have the SBM account pulled up on my phone, and when you log in, you're going to see a feed of tweets just like you do on the regular desktop model. As we've been doing our webinar, new tweets have come in, so clicking that little button at the top is going to log all those new tweets for me. Here at the bottom, we have various tabs. I'll get this out of the way. So this is our home screen. Notifications, again, is I have to click it on my phone, not on the computer. Notifications is very similar to what it looks like on the computer. You can also access your profile. Again, looks very similar. The two key pieces really are from any screen. When you're in the app, you can search and you can do a new tweet, which are these icons at the top. So the magnifying glass is going to bring up a search screen, again, for your hashtags, users, etc. Clicking the feather icon is going to bring up a screen so that we can tweet. It gives you access to your photos on your phone, so you could select to upload an image right there. Clicking in the box is going to bring up a keypad so that I can type in my tweet just as if I was sending a text. So it's pretty easy to use. That is my overview. I'm happy to answer questions or go over anything in more depth. We hope that this can be a tool for SIGs as they're thinking about takeovers and how they want to use social media